Hello and welcome to the Doubt Less Do More podcast. And I am thrilled and excited to introduce you to Kate Steels, who has the most incredible hobby, as we might call it, but it's become a part of her life. Kate, explain to us what you do and who you are.
Hi, Trudy. Firstly, thank you very much for inviting me onto your podcast this morning. So, I uh, I work full time for the County Council, Hampshire County Council, but I am a very avid swimmer. In particular, I love the cold winter months where I do ice swimming. Take that quite seriously, and also I do marathons swimming, so swimming channels like the English Channel in the warmer months.
Amazing. And I found you through an article in the paper because it's one of those things that people think, oh, I might like to go in the cold water and do a little swim one time. But what are your accomplishments to date with your ice water swimming?
I've been really quite fortunate. I've had a number of accolades, which I'm really proud of. So I've recently returned from Antarctica, and I became the first British woman to swim a minimum of a kilometre in both Antarctica and Arctic waters. Um, in 2019, I was inducted into the International Ice Swimming Hall of Fame, which I'm really proud about.
Mm.
In 2021, I became the third person in the world to complete the Ice 7, which is an ice mile in most continents, and the only person, and still the only person in the UK to have achieved that. I was awarded the World Open Water Swimmer Woman of the Year in 2021, and I'm also a triple crown of open water marathon swimming.
Absolutely incredible. And without being rude, but I know that people will want to know, how old are you?
55.
And this is why I want everybody to hear this wonderful story because age is not a barrier to anything that people want to achieve. So that is absolutely incredible what you have done. And
Thank you.
what's the time span of you getting all of those accolades? Is that in the last few
So,
years?
pretty much so. I started open water swimming in 2009, I think, and then my first big accomplishment in ice swimming was in 2015. I went to the inaugural World Championships in March in Russia, and in the January of that year, I completed my first ice mile.
Wow. And you started open water swimming after you got a divorce. So what then made you try ice water swimming and how has it helped you?
So my partner persuaded me to go and take part in some cold water championships in London. I'd already started the sea swimming with Portsmouth Triathlon Club, and I'd been through 2 winters. Initially, people laugh at me now. I used to wear a wetsuit, and I have no problem at all with people wearing a wetsuit. But in ice swimming, we don't wear that. We wear a standard costume. And the thought of that, as I sort of thought, yeah, it's good. Then I heard about the ice mile and decided I'd train for that. It took me 2 seasons of proper serious training. And I just loved it and got the buzz from it. And I think I was doing quite a lot of ice miles, working towards my ice 7. And then in 2018, my son very tragically and completely unexpectedly died just 2 days after starting university.
Mm.
And I think since then, I find the ice swimming has really helped me. And open water swimming, it's my happy place. It's where I found my peace.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so it's not only is it a physical challenge and a mental challenge, it's also for my well-being.
I love that you've just said it's where I found my peace.
Mm,
That's an incredible feeling out of such an awful situation.
mm.
Do you think that that's just in your mental health that you find that peace, or is it a whole body experience?
I've always been an outdoors, fairly sporty person, um, but I think my niche is in ice swimming. I also love the marathon swimming too, so I do both. But I think my niche is probably in that ice swimming, and whilst it can be really painful, it can be really tough. Um, it takes an awful lot out of you in preparation as well as actually doing the actual events.
Mm.
It's where I want to be. It's where I need to go.
That's an incredible description of grief as well, in all of the things that you've just said, of that it takes a lot out of you and it's painful, but it's going through it and it's yeah. that's an incredible motivator to find your peace in those things.
Hmm.
So thank you for talking about that.
Thank you.
What do you think a person needs to overcome the doubts that are in their heads when you approach something like this?
I think you always need to really want something. So I think whether it's, you can dream big, you can think big, you might say you want to swim the channel. That's great, have that dream. But if you can't swim, learn to swim, get used to the outdoors, build it up gradually. So I'd say you're not, personally, I don't believe you're going to succeed unless you've got that real deep down desire to succeed. Dream big, but I think I'm really into planning and preparation, and I believe so much done in their training to have a proper training schedule, varying how formal it is. And so you prepare fully, and you must prepare mentally for it. You need to have your support team around you. And it's going to be up and down. It's not going to be one straight diagonal up to get to it's not always an easy journey. But once you've done your preparation, your training, you've got to believe in yourself. I mean, I know when I get in the water, it's never easy. I mean, getting in those really icy cold Antarctic waters, the water was minus 0.8 because it was early season. I'd done every preparation I had. I knew I had the experience. I'd started having ice baths twice a week back in July in the UK. It wasn't ideal. I did this in November, having to go straight from the end of the British autumn when the water was still warm. Whereas this morning, I've had an ice bath and I've had to break the ice on the bath, which is much better training temperatures if you're going to Antarctica. But, you can't pick when the expeditions are. But I've got in the water now. I've done everything I can. And then I think about Daniel. I think about my family that's left. I think of my sponsors. And I always try and think of how lucky I am that people have supported me, people believe in me, and I can do it, and I've got to get in. And I also try and enjoy it. But I'm so appreciative and grateful for that opportunity. You don't always hear some people, I don't take anything for granted. Certainly not now.
Yeah. And from lots of people that listen to this podcast are businesswomen, and in the way that you're talking, we get in our own way with the thoughts of the doubts that come in, and the how do we get through this, and how do we move forward? And in my experience, and from what you're saying, it is a lot to do with the team that's around you, your absolute belief in what you are doing and how you get yourself out there. And one of the things that you said, which I really loved, was that nothing is a guarantee. Just
No,
because you've done all the preparation, just because for us, you've put out all the things in business, it doesn't mean that you're going to achieve what you've set out to achieve, but it still means that you need to believe and be
you've got to
positive.
believe it. You've got to believe you're going to do it. And you've got to have that a really healthy respect for the water, for the ice, for the sea. You can never, whilst you believe in yourself, you've also got to balance that by the respect of it. And I think, that belief that you can do it, and just do your best. That's all you can do. Yes, you've got to believe you can do it, but get in that water saying, I'm going to be grateful for this opportunity. I'm going to do my best and give it 110%. It's really natural to have nerves. And I'm sure in business, you get a lot of sleepless nights and you're thinking, oh no, what's going to happen? Or financial problems, certainly at the moment. But in sport, having that adrenaline rush is quite natural. You might have, particularly on marathon swims, you have these little demons that enter your head saying you can't do it. You've just got to be strong mentally and get through that. In ice swimming, it is going to hurt. You feel, first of all, your fingers going numb, your toes going numb, and it goes up your body. And yeah, it's not easy. And the harder the swim, the harder the recovery, which is the rewarming process after your swim.
Right.
But, I wouldn't recommend anybody jumps in freezing water without the training, without acclimatization, and without speaking to people who know what they're doing. I mean, we have medicals and ECGs on our heart regularly to make sure that we're fit enough to do the sport.
Yeah. Wow. And also one of the things in all of this that we're talking about is that dream and dreaming big, and people talk about that a lot. But you dreamt when you were a child that you wanted to go to Antarctica and you wanted to swim the English Channel. So
Yes.
just having that dream and holding those thoughts, how does it feel to have accomplished both of those things? And more than that, swimming in both. And where do you find your motivation to keep going back to it?
I feel incredibly lucky. I don't know how I got those two childhood dreams. I know my parents were both teachers and we used to go caravanning in Europe over the summer holidays. So we used to get the ferry from Dover every year. But I didn't swim as a child. I didn't got a background in, I think, about 12 months because my parents moved a lot as teachers. So they hadn't got a sporting background in swimming or anything. So I don't know where I got this from, but that was my dream. And yes, Antarctica. So I look for opportunities. I love travel. I love adventure. I love looking at other people, seeing where they're going, see if I get excited. As I say, it's got to be something that really grabs you.
Mm. Loving adventure, I think, is a key to people being able to see more opportunities that are out there as well. So where do you look for these opportunities? Is it a Google search? Is it I want to go there? I've seen that place.
Sometimes I do that. I also like seeing blogs of travel where people go, looking through travel magazines, hiking magazines, talking to others. Where are they doing? Where's the up and coming swimming spots? Swimming is really expensive. Some people think it's just a matter of buying a costume, a hat, and goggles, and off you trot to the pool, but it's expensive. I swim with Eastleigh Swim Club, and it's a good value club, but it's still, you've got to find the money for it. And doing any ice swims is very expensive, and I'm really grateful. I'm lucky. I feel really grateful for my main sponsors of Red Equipment and Speedo this year. So, and they helped me. And now I'm just looking at some other challenges. I've got the Ice Swimming World Championships in about 10 days.
Where's that?
In Malvino in Italy.
Oh, wow. Yes. What does that involve?
So we race various distances. The maximum is 1 kilometre. That's the furthest that we race. And the shortest will be 50 metres. So I'm doing the 1,000 metres, 500, 250 and 100. But I'm a distance swimmer. I'm not a sprinter. I mean, it's fantastic. We've now got over 700 people coming. I'm not sure of the GB team size exactly. It's about 45, I think, 45 to 50. So we've got a big presence there. And I'm secretary to the International Ice Swimming Association as well, who manage ice swimming. It's the vision of a guy called Rambar Kai from South Africa, who's taken this forward, built up this amazing association. And it's our vision one day to get to the Winter Olympic Games. So.
Right. Well, we know that when you hold a vision, when you hold a dream, anything can happen, Kate. So I have faith in it happening, I believe. Kate, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and huge congratulations on what you have achieved so far. And especially as a Hampshire woman myself, it is amazing to champion you and to see what you're doing and achieving so far and what you're going to do next. Nothing is going to get in your way. So
thank you.
Don't let the doubts get in there at any time. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kate.
You're welcome. Thank you.